Welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host. We're going to go on a quest for truth together. Hello, friends. Welcome to the program. Hello there, Catherine Weiss. First one in the docket there. And followed up by me. And we're waiting for other friends to come in. In the meantime, feel free to share this on out to your favorite social media platforms. Hello, it's Crypto Alchemist. Good evening. Hope you're having a good night tonight. Alrighty then, folks. We got some interesting things to talk about today. Boy, the things just keep happening, don't they? Things just keep right on happening. The pillow guy. My goodness, I bet you pillow sales went up today. I bet you the pillow guy got some orders today. Man, can you believe what's happening? I never thought it would come to this. I never thought, boy, wow. Unbelievable. And you know, none of this stuff is what the people want. None of it. It's just bizarre. Just bizarre. Ethereal Sublime, welcome to the program. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but welcome. Alrighty then. Well, we have some things to look at here. And there was an amazing discovery. I'm not sure if this was discovered before. I'm sure it was, but it was a revelation to me, and it has to do with the Great Pyramid over there in Egypt. But before we get to that, let's take a look at this. Since we were talking about Mike Lindell's just a couple seconds ago. Wow, Mike Lindell's new pillowcase line. It's called The Sham. Yeah. That's a good one, huh? I like that one. The Sham. Wow. Talk about losing credibility by the day. How are they going to expect anyone to take them seriously? You know, I vote no confidence in the FBI. If we all say we'd vote no confidence, wouldn't they just be dried up? If all of the citizens said, no, wait, I vote no confidence, wouldn't that work? Hello, Mud Rabbit. Welcome to the program. Awesome. Yes. So yeah, shame on them. Just because they're the FBI, they think they can tell fibs. Well, they can't. I think we need to like completely dismantle it and come up with something else, name it something else, because I think it's just so soiled now, you know? The name has been soiled. Don't you think? I think people have had enough of that. Yes, indeedy. Oh, there it is. There's our first meme for the night. Hope you're all having a very good, pleasant evening. I heard from our friend Mike the fireman, so keep your prayers out for him as well. He's still recovering from his back injury. And everything else like that. So he's a big fan of the program. So let's see. What we need to do is hold our county sheriffs accountable. Yes, of course they should be. Everybody should be accountable that's in a position to be accountable for something, right? Okay. Now, you all know that Prince Charles is now King Charles III, I think. Yeah, right? Well, you know, his mom has only been gone for a few days. 5 days? What? 5 days without his mother and already having problems with the buttons. Can't quite seem to get that lining up just right there. Look at that. Now everyone's going to be, you know, buttoning their jacket like that because they think it's a new, you know, fashion trend set by the king. Oh, we got this new jacket for you. It won't have that problem anymore. Oh, I can't see it. Oh, it's invisible, but it's still there. Oh, okay. That would solve the whole thing, wouldn't it? Keeping Mike in prayer. Thank you. Thank you, Mud Rabbit. Yes. Look at that guy. King. Yeah. And too bad Princess Diana isn't around, huh? But anyway, I stopped worrying about the monarchy over there in Great Britain. I stopped worrying about that back in 1776. Yeah, not worried about it. But it's funny. But you know, his jacket is buttoned funny. I'm sure his mother is probably upset, and he's probably hoping to all hope that she's not gonna be making a reappearance anytime soon. That she's gone for good. I'm sure he's holding out hope for that. Oh my gosh, what's this? What? Whoa! Oh my goodness! Look! Whoa! Look! I think. Look who's. Oh my goodness! She's back. She must have heard about the buttons, and she's coming back to button her son's. You put the rock back. Oh, put the rock back. Yeah. That's right. Put that darn rock back, will ya? Put it back, yeah. All righty then. Put the rock back. Yep. It's, you know, he waited so long and now this. Mom, I was just getting used to being king. Oh, you had to ruin it for me again. Oh, man. I've been telling my friends my whole life I'm going to be king someday. You come back? What's this? Yeah. All right, Crypto Alchemist. Looks like that's some pretty good news for you. Cold Fusion segment. This Saturday's APEC conference. All righty then. Well, that sounds interesting. So the Queen, yeah, I think maybe the rock will roll back all by itself any second now. What do you think? I think it might. It just might. Oh, yeah. You know, I was watching Red Pill today. He didn't have a show for like a day or so. And everyone's like worried. I didn't call him. I didn't want to bother him, but he's been so tired lately, so incredibly tired. And I think everybody, I think it's partly the area of space we're going through right now. It's making everyone a little off. And he also had a migraine. So I've had some visual migraines too. So something's happening. You know, the sun's more active or is going to be. in this area of space. Now, I always like to talk about how it's 2022, and it's pretty much the future, according to what we used to think about in the past. And yet we still have large mammals running in front of cars. And this is something I think should be implemented. If we're going to keep driving cars, we need to do more and more of this. This is the Eco Bridge in Singapore, which allows animals to easily and safely cross the highway. These are in other parts of the U.S. too. I think down in Florida there's a couple. But yeah, nature bridges. They don't have to be that big, but the animals will know. They'll know where the safe place is to cross, and they'll use it. No, I think it's more than that. He said ever since he got back from the Bard's Fest, where he got COVID, he's never been quite the same. Never been 100% after that. I think they were targeted there. I think, whenever you go to one of these conferences, make sure you talk to someone back in the kitchen and ask, hey, is anybody new in here? Is there anybody new in the last couple days? And kind of keep an eye on them, or maybe not even order any food in the place. I don't know. I think it'd be so easy for the deep state to just get some migrant who has cooking experience to go in there and louse things up for everybody. Oh, that bug takes a while to come out of. I was sick for 3 months. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, I've been really, sluggish. I wake up in the morning, lots of energy, and then by midday, it's like, holy guacamole, Robin. Holy guacamole. I got to either take a nap or sit down and just take it easy for a while. Yeah, it's very unusual. So I think a lot of us are having that. Something in the air. We're heading through an area of space right now we haven't headed through for thousands of years, and it's full of all of these energetic particles. So we're getting slammed cosmically too. So there you go. Looks like broccoli from above, doesn't it? Trees look like broccoli. That's what we used to call them. That's what my mom used to call them. Eat your trees. Here you go. So that's always a good thing to keep in mind. Yeah, nature bridges. And you might think, well, that would be expensive. Well, you know what else is expensive? When a large mammal runs in front of a car and kills a family and the deer. That's not cool. This is much better. Okay? I just think. Yeah, I think that's also part of it, Mud Rabbit. Everything we've learned, it's just weighting down, and we're just kind of holding out for hope that justice will come to these children and to everything that's been happening and to all these bad guys. And it's just like this painful waiting game. But if we all point our minds in the same direction, soon Durham, October. Okay. Boy, I really hope I hope Durham comes through. I mean, it would be cool. It would be much. Hello, Mad Pogue. I know you've been pushing those bridges for a long time, Truth Quest with Moriarity. Yeah, I just think it's a really cool idea. I'd use it too. Heck, what a cool way to cross the highway. A little bit of nature, right? I'd be right there with the animals crossing that thing. So if somebody at work is buying you lunch all the time and, buying snacks all the time, beware. Beware, because there might be ulterior motives for that person at work encouraging you to gorge yourself. Think about it. It was at that moment that Mike realized why Rob bought him lunch every day for the last 2 years. Oh yeah, that's why. That's a pretty good shield you got there. Wow. Isn't that funny? Oh, really, Mad Pogue? There's a whole park in San Fran with a highway running underneath it. Oh, cool. I love it. Well, let's have more of that. You mean they actually made some good decisions over there at one point? That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah. I mean, come on now. It's 2022. We really should not be having any animals in danger from being hit by a car or a truck. It just shouldn't happen. I mean, seriously, we should have figured this one out by now. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So yeah, that would go a long way. The nature bridges. Just make those, just proliferate the heck out of those things. That'd be a good one. So be careful if someone's buying you lunch all the time. Might not be good. Don't eat all of it. Don't eat all of it. Let that be a lesson. A lesson we can all learn. Yes. Now, I love exploring new towns, going someplace new, but it's always very important to learn the correct pronunciation of the town or place you're visiting. So when you come to a new town, you come up to that sign, you practice saying it, and welcome to Hamina. I'm not even going to try that one. There you go. Please pronounce carefully. Yes. Yeah, say that 5 times fast. See what happens. Oh my goodness. It's almost like that. What's that restaurant? Oh. I can't remember what it's called. Reason the upcoming changes, we have to remember that our patience is our strength. The deep state wants us to be impatient, to put us off our game. That's why they keep trying to trap us into timelines. Yeah. Yep. You're right there. Please pronounce carefully. Yes. Yes. Fuddruckers. Remember that place? Don't say that 5 times fast either. Fuddruckers. There's another one. Yeah. Be careful. Be careful pronouncing out there, fellas and ladies. Ladies and gentlemen. I thought that was an interesting name. I don't know. Could be in Europe somewhere, possibly. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know. That's hilarious. Is it real? I don't even know. I just thought it was funny as heck. What a funny sign. So, a sign can just make you smile. Look at Mud Rabbit. She's rolling in the aisles there. Awesome. Hello, Propagate. Did Propagate sneak in too? I didn't see him. Propagate this light. There he is. Well, hello there. Well, knock on wood. I'm knocking on wood. Oh, someone's at the door. Just kidding. Yeah, it's working so far. Crossing my fingers. I'm crossing my eyes. Crossing my legs. Crossing everything it can cross, okay? So hopefully that'll work. Keep crossing my fingers. Yeah, well, it's a 12-year-old computer, and it's my backup computer, which the only reason it was a backup computer is because there's problems with it. And I couldn't use it, and I needed to get another one a few years ago. Now that one's dead. So there you go. Some people have all the luck. That's me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't cross your legs. I'll be singing soprano. Hit the high notes that way. All righty then. Here's something interesting, and I hope this is true. Hundreds of FBI agents say they're ready to expose Obama and Comey. Well, this would be good. According to sources within the Bureau, okay, well, FBI agents are desperate to tell Congress about how heavily politicized, no. Politicized the FBI? No. We would have seen signs of that. It's not as if they're raiding all of their political enemies. Oh, wait a minute. I guess they are. It's not like they're raiding the ex-president. Oh, yeah, they are. Wow. Well, raiding an ex-president only creates a precedent. How do you like that? So I think Obama is up and maybe Bill. Let's get them for their crimes. Oh, bummer. Yeah. Don't cross the streams. You can go over the bridge, but don't you go near the water. You can cross the bridge, but don't you go near the water. That's right. So folks, someone was either parachuting or hang gliding or something like that over the Great Pyramid. And something was captured on top of the pyramid. So shall we take a look at this? Okay. Check this out. This is really interesting. Or interdasting, like we like to say. And this is from Jeff Randazzo. And so, fair use, we're going to play his little video here. All right. I think we're going to go with no sound. So check this out. There he is. He's going to get close to the top of the pyramid. Can you imagine getting up there and falling down? Oh, that would be a tough fall, wouldn't it? But he doesn't land. But look at this. There's hieroglyphs. There's writing on the top. On all these blocks. So the capstone's not there. But there's some kind of writing, inscriptions and pictograms on these rocks on top of the pyramid. Did you guys see this? Look at that. Look at this. Maybe it shows how they built the things. Looks like a big word right here. Almost looks like English. It's crazy. So isn't this wild? Now, that doesn't mean that they were always like written on up there. There could have been, more modern people climbing up there going, hey, good thing we brought our chisels. Let's make a little message here. So it could have happened at any point. It could have happened at any point. Well, hello, Cheryl. Welcome to the program. And Yvonda, welcome to you too. Awesome. Yeah, so what do you think about that? What do you think about that? There's actually writing on the stones on the very top of the pyramid. Of course, the capstone's missing. They took the capstone off. Apparently, maybe it was all gold, perhaps. I don't know what the legend is. It's made of some kind of other material, I believe. And the top of the rocks here have. Well, let's watch it again, shall we? Let's watch it all the way through. Look at that. Here at the top, it's like you're looking straight down. My goodness. Okay, here he comes again. Let's just watch this. Oops. Yeah, we don't need the music. It's just background music. Kind of dramatic. All right, that's enough of the dramatic music. Look at that. That's incredible. I'm telling you. I love this. Next time he should try to land, although, boy, wouldn't you hate to fall from the way up? Oh, whoa, miscalculated a little bit. Falling down the side of that thing. Oh, that would be. You would need a few Band-Aids, I think, when you get to the bottom. Just a few. Look at that hieroglyphs. Interesting, huh? And then look, when you're up there, if you're up there and you're looking over the edge, this is what it looks like. Oh my God, it looks like you're looking straight down. But of course it's not, it's an angle. But just the way it's made, that's, how scary it would be to be up there, especially if it's windy. Man, would that suck. Hello, Peggy Dancer. Good to see you here. Yeah. So that's wild. It's mildly wild. Let's just give it one more cycle through here. What a rush, huh? Be flying along. He's just casual. He's crossing his legs. He's hoping for the best here. He's coming in at quite a low angle there. I wonder if he actually touched it with his feet. You think so? I don't think so. It's pretty close. Yeah, you don't want to try to land and accidentally knock one of those boulders over either. It'd be kind of devastating. So there it is, folks. Hieroglyphs on top. There's also some other, bigger boulders up there, probably to hold the capstone in place, Look at that. See these other boulders over here? What's with all those? When you look at it up close like this, it doesn't look so precise, does it? But overall, it really is. Isn't that weird? And of course, it was all covered, so it was all smooth, had a smooth casing over it. Totally all white. And I guess it was something else to look at. But there you go. That's that. So I thought that was worth sharing with y'all. Oh, the hieroglyphs on the second layer down say, this is not a step. Yeah. Escalator this way. Right? Google just signed you out? Oh my goodness. Oh, do you think one cannot do certain things like that by the pyramids unless it's officially approved by those? Well, I don't know. Think about how long they've been there. Thousands of years, right? Maybe many, many thousands. We don't know, because you can't carbon date a rock. I don't think you can. Not accurately, anyway, I don't believe. So it could have happened at any point. So people could just climb up there and just carve in there if they want. Who knows if that's, but I'm just saying, just because there's hieroglyphics up there doesn't mean it was made when the thing was made. Someone might have just went up there and went, hey, let's go put our initials up, you know. Aaron plus so and so, or or hey, I made it to the top. You owe me $5. Yeah. Oh, I thought that was really, really interesting. Oh, yeah. You mean referring to the officials allowing tourists to do certain things? Well, like fly and land on it, or fly and get close to it. What are they going to do? Shoot him down? I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, there's been people up there. There has to have been. Well, how could people not go up there? It's like a big magnet. Every kid's going to want to climb that thing, right? They'd probably go, okay, let's go climb that darn thing. We'll carve our name in the top when we get there. I'm sure people have climbed it and no one ever knew. Maybe they went at night, or, before there was all this surveillance, perhaps. Because, yeah, there's a lot of surveillance nowadays, don't you think? Oh, by the way, folks, I have to tell you, the show this Sunday with the Quest for Truth of the Energy Bashago has been postponed. It's postponed because Andy needs to do some more research on the hidden history of World War II. So he's working on that. So that will be coming out shortly. We just don't know when. But this Sunday has been canceled, so we're not going to do the show on Sunday. So we're just going to do, today is Wednesday, we're going to do Friday, and then the weekend is off. So have all of you heard about this thing? A Good Morning with Moose. I think that's Mike the Fireman. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? setting this up for something. Boy, that's what happens when you get older, folks. Well, maybe it'll come to me. Maybe it'll come. You know, speaking of the pyramids, another seldomly known fact that I've brought up here a few times, probably more than a few times, is that, so there was this researcher, and he was in, this is many years ago. Here's a picture, just a picture of the top of that pyramid, of some of that hieroglyphs. So this researcher, he was over there in Egypt, and he was studying the pyramids, and he had a place in the local town there, in the little village that he was renting. And there was like a street, like a market where you could buy things, vendors in the street and such. This one old man was making hammers. He was making stone hammers. And the way that he did it was he had these handles and a mold. He put the handle in the mold, and then he put the a good morning with moose. So he put the handle in the mold, and then he would he'd take crushed up rocks, and he'd mix it with 3 different plants that used to be very prevalent in the area there. And when these plants are mixed together, it creates an acid that melts the rock chunks and makes it pourable. He pours the liquid rock into the mold around the handle, and then after it sets, you got a stone hammer. This guy was so intrigued, he bought one, and he got samples of all the plants, and then he got permission from the antiquities people in Egypt to get a very small sample of the outer casing of the pyramids. And so he did. They allowed that to happen, and he went in with a microscope, and he found microscopic evidence of remnants of all 3 of these plant types in the outer casing of the pyramids. So that's how they got them so smooth. That's how they got it so the rocks, you can't fit a credit card between them. It's because they were poured. A lot of them were poured, especially the outer ones. They were poured. So there you go. That mystery was solved decades ago, but everyone forgot about that. Plant softens stone. Plant that softens stone. There you go. Thanks, Mud Rabbit. That's awesome. Yeah, I remember reading that in a magazine, in a science magazine, many, many, many years ago. I was thinking, oh, good, they finally figured this out. How cool. And then now people are going, oh, gee, I wonder how they did that. Like, wait a minute. They already figured that out. Something's wrong, because when we discover something, it doesn't stay discovered. You know, much like how, if you remember the news over the past several decades, NASA will make an announcement. Oh, big announcement about Mars. We found water on Mars. And then about a year and a half later, big announcement. Oh, we found water on Mars. And it's like they keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. Doesn't anybody else notice that? Am I the only one? Or am I in some kind of time loop? That could very well be. I probably am in a time loop. A bizarre, yes. A bizarre bazaar. A very bizarre bazaar. Oh, propagate the light is number 14, I think you said. Number 14 on the likes. So when you hit that like button, guess what? You get a lucky number, and his lucky number is 14. So get your lucky numbers while they last. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. You know, I was looking at my analytics the other day, and I noticed there's like 46% of my viewers aren't subscribed. So please subscribe. It just takes a second. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, because you never know when we're going to go live with a special guest like Andrew. Sometimes he'll call me up and say, hey, let's do this. I want to do this show about this. Okay, let's do it tomorrow or whenever. And boom, we do the show. So you never know when it's going to come up. You're going to want to be subscribed, and you're going to want to hit that bell. So I don't really say that often enough. We just broke 3,000. I think we got like 3,009 or 3,010 subscribers. And so thank you to each and every one of you. I think that's awesome. And keep spreading the word. Keep spreading the word. It's a fun place to hang out. A fun place to hang out indeed. So there you go. Hieroglyphs on top of the pyramid. Craziness. Oh, wasn't that shown on Moses' movie? The slaves are making mud with wheat, etc., and water. I think they use that to sand the stones, the water and the sand, and to cut it maybe with a rope. But these plants, there's something that used to be very, very prevalent in the area, probably when there was more water around. But just the fact that they used to be prevalent in the area, and you got these big stone structures where you can't fit a credit card between the stones. Well, there you go. They were poured. They were poured. Hello, lurkers. Yes. Oh, let me check the lurker button. Ooh, look at all those lurkers. Oh, my. You won't believe who's here. I can't say it because that's part of when you get the lurker app. You have to promise you don't say the people's names, okay? It's out of respect. They're lurking for a reason, but now we can see them. Oh, yeah. We know you're there. You might as well hit the like and subscribe. You might as well. Everybody else is doing it. Everybody else. Over 3,000 satisfied customers. 100% free content. There you go. And we find weird stuff like that. Isn't that wild? And there's the donations to repair the ship. And the ship does need repaired. It needs a new bat computer. And probably a camera too. I'm looking at the Mac Minis. I'm trying to find one with a lot of memory. Boy, they're all over price-wise too. You've been to Baalbek? No way to cut those stones with rope, right? Yeah. Laser rope. There you go. You know what I thought would be a great idea, and I can't believe someone hasn't done this yet. Maybe they haven't. I haven't seen it. But are you familiar with a jigsaw? Like a jigsaw? Okay. It's a very narrow blade, and you can turn things you can make jigsaw puzzles. That's why they call it jigsaw. Why don't they make a jigsaw with a laser cutter? Like a laser beam where the blade would be? It would never break. Because that's the thing with these little saws like that. The blade always breaks. You gotta stop doing what you're doing. You have to put a new blade in, and then it's only a little bit of time, and then it breaks again. But if you had a laser, with like you could have like a little shield in front of it, like so you visually wouldn't be looking at you just be looking at something in front of the light to protect your eyes from looking at it. But it'd be the same width, and you could just zing and zzz. Boy, I think that would be cool. I don't know why they haven't done it. Maybe they have. I haven't checked recently. It's one of those concepts. It's like, well, someday I'll draw it up. No, I'm not gonna. I've had that for decades. So have at it, public. Just cut me in for a percentage when you get it rolling, all right? That's all I ask. There you go. It's on the trust thing. Yeah. Propagate this light, says there. Truth Quest with Aaron Moriarity. I'm jotting down your laser idea. I'll give you 10%. Awesome. Thank you. That rocks. I'll take that. Yeah. I also have an idea, and I've had this idea for a long time too, and I don't mind putting this out there. Somewhere I have a drawing of it. I don't know where that drawing is. You know, have you ever been to Florida? Have you ever like watched videos of boating in Florida? And then you might have noticed the manatees. And so the manatees, as you may very well know, one of the ways they identify these manatees are by the prop scars on their backs, sadly. So my idea is very simple. You got the prop that's spinning around. Okay, you put just a little shelf right below it, so that if it hits an animal, it hits that little thing protecting the animal from the propeller. It would actually save the propeller from rocks too, and when you get into a shallow area. You could design it to be kind of V-shaped, so it would actually help propel the boat forward better, more like a jet. But it would protect any animal or person underneath the boat if they, for heaven's sake, should come in contact with that prop. They won't come in contact with it now. I'm sure there's a way to design it so it would work. I think that you would save a lot of manatees from this horrifyingly painful thing that happens. And can you just imagine that? So we should show our humanity and help the manatee. It wouldn't be that hard to just add these things to the bottom of you could make them so they retrofit on any outboard motor or inboard motor. Just a little shelf underneath it, you know? I don't know why someone hasn't thought of that yet. Maybe they have. I've had that idea for a long time, long time. But you know, I just don't have time to work up all these ideas. You know, I did a drawing of it and I did present it somewhere. I can't remember where. But to my knowledge, it hasn't been on the market yet. So there's another one. Yeah, I just have too many ideas. I can't do them all, folks. There's just no way. There's no way. Yeah. Skill sets. Everyone has different skill sets. This guy, I'm here to crash bikes and economies, and I'm all out of bikes. Yeah, boy, did you see the stock market just crashed when he was bragging about what a great job he's done battling inflation. And then, meanwhile, the stock market on the TV, where he is saying how great everything is, you're seeing like a huge drop, like the Niagara Falls falling straight down. Thank you, Cheryl. All right. That's right. Right. Wonder how much of a medical cocktail they put into him before he says these stupid things. Right. You know, I look at this character they have up there, this controlled puppet, and I think back to that classic episode of Star Trek where they come across this planet where a former starship captain was living and made himself the ruler and adopted all the Nazi ways. At first, he was just doing good things, but then it kind of got taken over by the bad guys, which it always does. But they kept him. He was close to death, and he was like sitting down, and they put the microphone in front of his mouth so they can't tell that his mouth wasn't moving, and it had a recording. They just were keeping him alive and giving, and he was like declaring war, and then, you know, of course, Captain Kirk figures it out, and interferes with their affairs. Well, their affairs were being interfered with anyway, but that's what I think of when I think of this character. He's just put the microphone in front of his mouth so he can't see his lips not move and just play a tape, because it's pretty much all he is anyway. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. I really, you know what? I'll tell you one thing. When the arrests start happening, when the inevitable starts happening, there's going to be so much joy. All of us that have been just waiting and waiting and just, you know, praying and hoping and doing whatever we can in our local area to get involved and to move things along in your local area, because it starts local. That's how it's done, folks. Yeah. All righty then. Let's see. Well, I'm going to put the call in here. If you want to call in and talk about some of these things, maybe what you think about the top of the pyramid having hieroglyphs, or any of this other stuff that's happening out these days, this crazy stuff happening. It's crazy, I tell you. But we're keeping our cool. We're doing what we need to do, sharing the memes, pointing out the hypocrisy, and calling out the creeps. Palace crowd chants, "We don't want pedophiles." These are the people right at the palace, folks. Let that sink in. They know what a creep Charles is. Okay, he was best friends with Jimmy Savile. And they both have that really creepy smile on their face. It's disgusting. I'm telling you. It's absolutely disgusting. Hey, it's Operation Shutdown. It is crazy out there because the fact is, it's just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. Yeah. That's what's happening. Welcome to the program, buddy. Good to see you here. Send your inquiries, photos, videos, and stories to Aaron to share on the show. That's right. At hotgamesandpuzzlesllc at gmail.com or snail mail, HG&P, P.O. Box 711, Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. That's Wisconsin. 54235. And that's snail mail. That's how you can send stuff to the program here. And I will gladly show it off on the program when I get it. How's that sound? Haven't been to my P.O. box in a couple days. So there might be something there. If you sent something, I will be getting that probably tomorrow. So hopefully by Friday, I'll be able to report on if there was anything in there. It's always a fun little mystery. A fun little mystery. Is something in there? It's like Christmas, like potential Christmas every day. You never know. So there it is. People are waking up and they're really just not going to take it anymore. We'll see what comes up here. Dang, you in Sturgeon Bay, yeah? Wow, I'm from Detroit, and that's too cold for me. Well, I grew up in Minnesota. It was a lot colder in Minnesota, to be honest with you. Here in Door County, in Sturgeon Bay, we get large bodies of water on either side of us here. So this is the only place in the Midwest that can grow cherry trees because we have an extended growing season. So it's not as bad as you might think. And been pretty mild winters here. Last couple have been kind of tough, but been fairly mild. Of course, I grew up in Minnesota, and back in 1991, I was living in Minnesota, in Mound, Minnesota. And it was October 31st. Yes, Halloween night, 1991. And guess what? We got 36 inches of snow in 2 hours. Boom. Couldn't open the door. Yeah, I'm still stuck in there. No, I'm not. Yep. Oh, you tried it for a few years, wasn't working for me? You mean in the cold? Yeah. I don't either. Well, I used to have a paper route when I was a boy. And Sunday morning, we'd wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning or 4:30. We'd make we'd take an insane breakfast. That's the instant breakfast. This was back in the day. We'd make a little malt. We'd put with milk and Carnation insane breakfast and 2 eggs, raw eggs, and ice cream. We mix that up, we drink that, and go out and do our route. And it was like plenty of energy to do. But one morning, it was very, very cold, below zero, and I couldn't find my gloves. So I grabbed this pair of my dad's gloves. They were too big. And oh my God, my hands were so cold. I got frostbite, and my hands were like frozen in the shape where I could pick up the paper and put it in someone's door jam. Man, that was. And I got home, and boy, your finger feels like it's like this big around, each finger feels like it's just gigantic, and it feels hot. It feels red hot, and it sucks because now once you damage your cells, you're more prone to cold. So there you go. You can't win. So there you are. Be careful out in the cold. Make sure you have warm gloves on. Don't do what I did. Don't just grab something and leave because you're going to be late and you want to be Paperboy of the Year. Yes, paperboys never get the props. That's a hardcore job. Yeah, that doesn't even exist anymore for kids. It's really sad. It teaches you business and ethics and you know, I earned my first vacation. I actually got to take a vacation as a kid, paid for it myself. It was a snowmobile weekend, and at this resort, it was fun. Hot chocolate and riding the snowmobiles, so much fun. And I did it all by myself with my paper route by getting new subscriptions and making a little bit of money. I bought my own tennis shoes, you know, Adidas, and everything like that. So yeah, paper boys. And like I told my mom, I said, Mom, if I'm a paper boy now, when I grow up, will I be a cardboard man? I really said that. I meant it as a joke. I didn't mean it seriously. So I guess maybe, actually, guess what? When I was doing my Elvis shows a few years back, I was doing a lot of Elvis shows, and I made these life-size cutouts. So if I was doing a gig, I could bring them there, and they were life-size. So I guess I did become a cardboard man. I did become a cardboard. See? It all comes back. It all works out in the end. Aaron got started early in the dad jokes. Yes, I did. I certainly did. And you know what? My mom and my dad both joking all the time. So I think it's in the genes. It's not my fault, folks. I was born this way. I'm either blessed or handicapped, either way you want to look at it. But now, one time, a friend of mine was at my mom and dad's house when my dad was still alive. And so I can't remember who it was. Anyway, this person had some garbage in their hand. And they said, say, Marge, where do you keep your garbage? And she said, keep it? You mean we're supposed to keep it? Why, we've been throwing it away for years. Yeah. Yeah, Mom. That's the way you do it. Where? Keep it? You mean we're supposed to keep it? Why, we've been throwing it away for years. Oh, I love that. That's the best response. I just heard something, and I shouldn't be hearing anything. Is there some kind of animal in here? You never know. You never know. There might be an animal in here. Or something. Something's rustling around over there. What could it be? What could it be? Oh, Aaron, did you see the Queen's Guard drop dead today at her coffin observance? No, I did not. I do know that they do pass out because those bear skin hats are so hot and they have to stand so still they can faint. But sometimes, did this one die? Oh my God. Those hats are ridiculous. They have to kill bears to make those hats. Awesome Possum was up after his bedtime. Yeah. So yeah, and my dad would he had different names for everything. Like he had a one of these, okay? It's a magnifying glass. He'd say, has anyone seen my magnificent glass? Magnificent glass. It's not a magnifying glass. It's a magnificent glass. Yes. Oh, the noise I heard. I could be Queppy. The puppet Queppy. He's coming to life, maybe. Maybe he watched Pinocchio and he thought he could do that too. It could very well be. Dads have their own language. Oh yeah? He's not the only one? And every NFL team had a different name. It wasn't the real name. Like someone said Detroit earlier. I hate to tell you this, but my dad called them Detroit. Detroit. Propagate this light is coming on. Hello, Mr. Prop.
Hey, what's goody? What's going on?
Hey, not much. What's happening?
Oh, hey. I'm just chilling around the way. Just was watching your stream and just thought I would tap in backstage to see what's going on.
Yeah, what do you
And
think? What do you think of the pyramid thing? Do you think?
yeah, that was something else. That was the first time I seen something like that. So I'm happy you showed that clip. You really made my night with that one.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I just saw that today. Oh, that's pretty darn cool. You don't see that every day. But
Well, I actually seen it on the roof of my grocery store in my neighborhood. But other than that, yeah, no, I'm just joking.
whoa, wow. So, have there been any more Mandela effects that you've noticed?
Ooh, wow. Okay, I guess I'll release this here. So I came across something the other day that no one has spoke on as far as I know.
Okay.
And I want to know what anybody in the chat thinks about this if you're familiar with the Mandela effect. And I want to know what you think, of course. So I'm going to release this and I'm going to see what everybody thinks. Okay, so somewhere along the line I was researching something on YouTube the other night. And then so I came across okay, so let me just put it like this. Are you familiar with the singing group called NSYNC?
I'm not super familiar, but I've heard of them. In Sync, yeah.
Yeah, that was a group that I was in back in the 90s, but I left the group early because, I hurt my foot so I couldn't dance and we went to concert and stuff like that. So
You were in the group?
yeah, I'm the one that's in the front all the time singing, and sometimes I'm playing the drums as well in sync.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Me and Justin, we grew up, like we grew up together, so I know Justin from around the way.
Wow. So, what's the Mandela effect?
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
You really weren't in NSYNC.
No, but that was one of my favorite groups.
Oh,
Like and there's another group. Um, okay, so have you heard? How can I say this? What's the other boy band group? Does anybody know in the chat or yourself the other boy band group that came out before NSYNC came out? From
New
my
Kids on the
recollection.
Block?
No, they were back in the 80s, but this other boy band group was out in the 90s. Let's see
Newer
in the
Kids
chat.
on the Block. Newest Kids on the Block. No, I don't know. I wasn't really big into the boy band thing. You tell me.
All right, so I'm going to check the chat.
Yeah, let me check the chat too. Backstreet Boys?
Okay, so I know them as the Backstreet Boys. That's how I know them as.
Okay, the Backstreet Boys.
So yeah, I was online a couple of days ago, and then I seen their name didn't have the in it anymore. So I don't know if I'm the only one, but I could have sworn it was the whole name was the Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys Mandela Effect. Yeah, I don't know. The Backstreet Boy, the Backstreet Boys. Sounds like it should be the, huh?
Right.
Hmm.
Dark Brian, Backstreet Boys. So, yeah, I recall it as the Backstreet Boys from my recollection. I mean, it's been a while, but I could swore like that was their full name.
Mm-hmm. You know what? One I noticed around here is there's an auto parts place called O'Reilly's, but now it's called O'Reilly, and there's no S.
Hmm.
There's no apostrophe S anymore.
Yeah, I've heard that one too in the Mandela Effect community that I'm aware of. People have brought that up actually.
Yeah, they just built one here a couple of years ago, and so my last name is Irish, so I noticed these things. And after I saw that change, I went in there and I asked the guy. I said, "What's the name of this place?" He goes, "O'Reilly's." I said, "With an S in the end, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Look at the sign." He looked behind him and goes, "What?" He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. He didn't know when it changed. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's weird. Little things are changing.
Yeah, and going back to the Backstreet Boys, Peggy Dancer says, yes, there used to be a thud. So thank you for that, Peggy. I appreciate that because I'm like, I could have sworn it had the in the name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, O'Reilly's, that's a good one. Like you tell the people about it and they're stunned and they work there.
Wasn't there a Village People one too?
Yeah, something about there's 6 members or something. I'm not quite sure about that one myself.
Right, right.
Are
Uh,
you?
go
Go ahead.
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, are are you familiar with Sally's Beauty Supply? Beauty Supply. Let me say that again. Sally's Beauty Supply. Are you familiar with that?
Oh yeah, there. All of the beauty salons use that. Sally's Beauty Supply, right?
Okay, I'm happy you highlighted Sally's right there because if you look now, it says something different, and it never was Sally's.
Was it Sally?
Yeah, Sally Beauty Supply.
Okay. Oh, I have a comment on the Jif one.
Okay.
See, I don't think it was ever Jiffy. I think it was always just Jif. And I think people are mixing up Skippy and Jiffy. That's what I think it is. So I think that one might not be a real Mandela effect.
Okay. I
Because
could have sworn on episode, what was it? Episode 240, I believe it was. I'm not exactly sure, but when we were talking about Jiffy, I could have sworn you said you were familiar with Jiffy.
I was familiar with that Mandela effect, but I wasn't familiar with the actual product. So I guess I didn't give a full dissertation on it, but I've always thought that. And wait a minute, no, I don't remember Jif. I remember Jif. I don't remember Jiffy. I think there were other products named Jiffy. There was, I think, like a muffin or some Jiffy muffins or something, and Skippy peanut butter, and there was Jif because choosy mothers choose Jif. I remember that. That was their slogan for a long time. Choosy mothers choose Jif. And in fact, when I was a single parent, single father, I thought they should change that to choosy mothers and fathers choose Jif. Jiffy popcorn too, yes, Peggy. Jiffy Pop. And Jiffy Pop. Yeah, Jiffy Pop popcorn. Yes. Yeah, Jiffy
Yeah.
Pop popcorn. That's where Jiffy comes in. Yeah. So some of them are real, some of them maybe aren't. I don't know. But it depends. I mean, we can't climb into the head of everybody and experience what they're experiencing, right? But
Exactly.
there are changes that we all see, I think. Yeah.
So, what are some of the changes that you've noticed other than what you've spoken on the Jan interview?
Well, like I said, the O'Reillys, the mirror on the wall one, that's a big one for me. And the Berenstain Bears, those are pretty big ones right there. And the biggest one is one I mentioned before, the Star Wars one, where Darth Vader says, "Luke, I am your father." But now he says, "No, I am your father." But anyway, those ones right there, they nail it for me. How about you?
Okay,
What?
let's see. Okay, yeah. So let me see. Give me 1 second. All right. So, are you familiar with the air freshener called Febreze?
Yeah.
How would you spell breeze?
Oh yeah, I've seen this one. Now I don't know it well enough to know the spelling of it, so
Oh,
that one wouldn't matter to me. 'Cause I'm not exactly a good speller or a great speller. However, I do know all 23 helping verbs.
yeah, that comes in handy, definitely. Are you with smoke this bear?
What was that?
Are you familiar with the bear that said prevent forest fires? Smokey this bear?
Smokey the Bear.
Right, right. I'm just messing with you. So, because some people say they see the word "the" in my name, so I was just drum roll. All right, so right now, Smokey the Bear, as a lot of us, me and you anyway, know of him to be. Now
Uh,
he is just now he is just Smokey Bear, whatever that means. Smokey Bear.
Smokey Bear. Wow. Smokey the
So,
Bear.
I mean, it would make sense if he was selling cigarettes, you
Yeah.
know, you know. Um, and are you familiar with Cheez-Its? Have you ate those before?
Maybe a long. I don't eat the processed stuff anymore, but there's Febreze.
Okay, who here is familiar with Cheez-Its?
Cheese Its. Smokey the Bear.
My name is D, Smokey the Bear, for sure. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Because y'all are helping me validate what I feel that I've always known.
Mm-hmm. Cheese Its.
Right.
Is
Peggy
that?
Dancer.
Yeah.
Peggy Dancer, that's an awesome name, by the way, Peggy Dancer.
Is that a
Um,
good name? I like that name too. Yeah. It's a great name. It just makes you feel like dancing, doesn't it?
that sounds like a 70s song, right? Make you feel like dance, don't dance the night away, you know?
Yeah. It's a great song. Great. Yeah.
So my name is D. Cheese it's with a Z. I don't recall it with a Z, but I think you mean S. I think you're um just playing around with the name, I think. I'm not sure, but
So how has it
yes.
changed? How has it changed now?
Okay, so let's get to it. Right now, when you open the box, you're only going to find one cracker in there because it's now called Cheese It. Cheese It.
Oh, really? Only one cracker?
Only one because it's Cheese It now instead of It's.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, if you want to buy a box of one cracker, that's it's all good with me.
Wow. Isn't that weird? Uh-oh, my name is D is freaked on that one. What? That's a long what?
Yep, yep. So
Wow.
you're gonna have to charge her for some of those A's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're in your spaceship. So what model is it, and what make is it?
This spaceship, actually, this is an airplane. The background,
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
inside of a modern airplane with no seats.
Oh, wow.
Like a
Wow. Okay.
7 or some 747. I don't know what it is, but I just thought I was looking for a spaceship interior. I was looking on DuckDuckGo or one of these search engines, and all of them looked like junk. And I saw this one, went, whoa, it's an airplane, but man, yeah, digging it. I like it. So I took it.
Okay. Okay. So you have that's a nice picture. And but when you say your ship, you're referring to your spaceship, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a spaceship. Yeah. Because I'm high above the clouds right now. Broadcasting from an undisclosed location above the clouds. There you go. That's where we are.
Mm.
They can never find us.
So have you ever ran into that object that they found in outer space? They don't know what it is. Some people called it junk, space junk, but come to find out, I guess, well, this is what one person said, that is actually a satellite from other life forms that's surveillancing the planet.
Black Knight.
Yep.
Black Knight satellite.
No David Hasselhoff, Knight Rider.
You're
You used
right.
to watch used to watch a show called Knight Rider, right?
Oh yeah. Great show. Great
Oh,
show.
cool.
Did you see Hasselhoff in the SpongeBob movie? Oh, that was
Yeah, I think I did watch that. Yeah.
that was great.
What do you think about the Black Knight?
Well, it's I think it's orbiting polar, like from the pole to pole, isn't it? And it's been up there for thousands of years. It's probably the Draco Reptilians satellite, don't you think? I mean, who else could it be? Or it could have been set there by the the ancient builder race, the ones that built all this stuff.
Who are they?
Um, no S on the end of O'Reilly. Sheesh, just noticed it. Yeah, isn't that weird? I'm sorry. I was reading something. I lost track of what I was saying. What was I saying?
Oh, okay, she realizes that one too. That's cool. And hi guys, did I make it? Yep, yep.
You made it, buddy. You did, Ralph. Welcome to the program. So what was it?
Yours,
Go ahead.
yeah. We're you were talking about the ancient builder race, and I just asked who are they?
Oh, okay. According to Corey Good's testimony, the ancient builder race are the ones that built all these megalithic structures, and not only here, but on other planets in our local solar system and in our 12-star cluster and our 52-star cluster. They're the ones that allegedly started, I guess, off on from Venus, and then they progressed to the point where they don't need bodies anymore. And the Oumuamua that came through was actually a ship, an old ancient Builder Race ship, and inside it they found some ancient Builder Race writing, and that is the thing that they're so excited about, because they haven't found any writing at all from the ancient Builder Race. So now they finally have something. So, and I guess that we have been foolishly trading this ancient technology to extraterrestrials without realizing what we were trading. Like, we'd find these stone structures underground, these big piece of granite, and the aliens would want it. We'd say, okay, trade us some technology. But we didn't realize that what we were actually giving them wasn't just a rock. It was like a rock, but it was like somehow energetically connected in other realms to technology. And so it was really technology hidden in other dimensions, sort of. So, yeah, they're very, very advanced. And allegedly they came back in the form of a blue avians, to help guide humanity again. And that's Corey Good's story. Have you heard Corey Good's story?
Yeah, I've heard of the person. I've listened to some of his speeches, but I don't recall exactly what all that I've listened to.
Right. It's a pretty long story that he has. Stories. But yeah, the ancient Builder Race, they're the first humans, apparently, in this area. And very benevolent, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, Corey Good is the UFO. He talks about UFOs, right?
Right.
UFO research.
Well, he was in the secret space program. He was allegedly in the 20 and back program, where you serve 20 years in the secret space program. You can't tell anybody. You can't contact anyone on Earth. You can't even have pictures of your family or anything. So you're living 20 years, and then they ask you, do you want to go back or do another 20? If you say you want to go back, they age regress you, then time regress you back to moments after you left. They blank slate your mind. You relive those years over again.
That I'm not married no more, but that sounds like my marriage.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Wow. Yeah, I think I did hear him talk about that, because I've been listening to him, what's his name, Robert Monroe, and you know what I mean, Andrew Bashago, Yeah. So it's a lot of stuff that I've researched, and I got to a point where I stopped researching them, and then I just forgot who was talking about what.
Right.
Except for Robert Monroe, because I went as far as to trying to even make binaural tone sounds. Are you familiar with that?
No, was he the guy that opened a portal in his bedroom or something with two different sounds? That guy?
Oh, you're talking about the YouTuber that uploaded the video with a device that does that? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
No, Robert Monroe was in the he says that he was in the man, I think it was the Philadelphia experiment that he was in.
Okay.
Right. And so he was on the ship, and then it did what it did. He and another person fell off the ship and went into the water. The water turned into like a vortex that took them into the future.
Oh, wow.
So he's one of the ones that talks about visiting the future, as well.
Okay. I'll have to look. I've never heard of him before, so I'll have to look him up. I just did a quick little search right now, and let's see.
Or you could type up the Monroe Institute, because he's the one that created that as well.
Here it looks like that must be him, huh? In some of his books.
Yep, that's him. Yeah. anybody that's interested in out of body experiences. I talk about that on my channel, but he's an experiencer of that. And I was researching him. Um,
Have you been out of body? Have you been out of your body?
okay, so to answer that question, I'll answer it a little bit lengthy, but I'll be real quick.
Yeah,
So I believe that a lot of people go out of their body all the time, just doesn't don't realize it.
sure.
Um, but other than that, I've been out of my body consciously. So I'm as aware as I am now.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, and during those moments, I'm conscious. So yeah, I have had a handful of experiences like that.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I left my body once and it freaked me out. It was just freaky. Um, and it really changed my life. It proved to me that there was something beyond the body. And at that point, I hadn't come to that realization yet. So it was pretty revelatory for me. I mean, it really changed. I wasn't afraid of death anymore because it's just these bodies are like containers and your soul never dies. So this is one of many. That's what I uh, felt and experienced, that I'd lived many, many, many lifetimes.
Wow, that's interesting. Um,
Yeah.
I've experienced like when I'm over there, I will ask a question and I will get the answer quick and I will feel it throughout my body or my astral body.
Hmm.
And so that's amazing that you come to that conclusion about that you lived many times. I never picked up on that particular vibe, but I didn't ask the question, I guess. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's awesome, man. Because I think that it's possible that I've lived a different life because a long s- I'll this is kind of a long story. I'll share it with you real quick.
Okay.
Um, I don't think I mentioned this on my channel yet, but up until this point, so I was out just joyriding with a friend, and we were driving in a direction that we never driven before. We ended up hitting the freeway, going over a bridge, and I just kept telling that person, "Keep driving. Now turn here. Now go there. Go now turn right here." I didn't know where I was going. I was in a strange uh city, because I didn't know that city. So I didn't, but I knew where to go. So long story short, we ended up in the neighborhood, and I say to her like, "Man, something is here that is the reason why I'm here in this particular area. I don't know what it is." So I was just like, "I'll just forget it." So as we were about to leave, I turned to my right and I seen a house has always been in my dreams.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
right, right, right. This is a neighborhood I'd never been to. And then there's also a 7-Eleven down the street in that dream. And what do you know? A 7-Eleven was down the street.
Wow. Interesting.
So yeah, so maybe I was um living in a different life over there, before I became me, I guess. I don't know
Could be. That
if that
could be.
makes sense. Right. I guess I'm me all the way through, but I guess the consciousness just kind of like uh recycles itself, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah. There's a book. It's called, I have it here somewhere. Um, it's called, what is it called? Oh, Alien Interview. And that is a freaky book if you read that.
Okay.
No way to know if it's true or not. But, and Lawrence Spencer, the editor of the book, is passed away now. I interviewed him years ago, but yeah, he claims that inside all of every living thing is an immortal spiritual being, an isby, immortal spiritual being. And for an isby, there is no beginning and no end, just an everlasting now. And before there was anything, there were just these isbys, these immortal spiritual beings. And Errol, the pilot engineer from the Roswell crash, told Matilda McElroy, she was a Roswell airfield nurse, that before anything existed, there was just these immortal spiritual beings, and they know everything. The only word in our English language that would describe what an Isby is would be God. So our immortal spiritual beings inside of us are just like a God, an all-knowing, all-powerful God. And before any universe ever existed, these immortal spiritual beings were getting pretty bored, so they would focus all of their thought power on these illusionary areas, these illusionary spaces, like planets. And if enough other Isbys witnessed it, saw it, and agreed that it was real, it just became real. And that's how, and eventually beings were created so they could enter the beings and play games, because immortal spiritual beings love to play games. But if you're an all-knowing, all-powerful spiritual being, you can't play a game because you'll know where they're hiding. You'll know. So they enter these bodies of these creatures to play games. And that's how this whole thing started. So that's kind of interesting, according to that book, if it's true.
So you said, right, it sounds interesting. And you said they came into the bodies of these creatures. So you're referring to the human body as a creature?
Well, they created any number of creatures, and according to Errol, anything that we call alive is animated by an immortal spiritual being. That's what animates them. All life, anything we call life, has a spirit, according to Errol. And when I left my body, I came out of my belly, and I rose up, and I could see in all directions, and it was just really, really freaky. And I focused on my body. I think I was 24 years old at the time, living in Rhode Island, and I just had no connection to that body. And that's when I realized I had no connection to the thousands of other lives I'd lived. No connection at all. I was just happy to be out of it and free. And I thought, well, I could go to Jupiter. I could go to the sun, because you've got when you're a ball of nothing but everything, you have no feelings. You can't feel heat. So you could go to the sun. I knew I could do all that. As soon as I realized I could do it, I also remembered, oh, holy crap, I've already done all that. That's boring stuff. So it's boring to know everything. And then I don't know if I've told you this story or not before. I've told this story a couple times on the show, a few times, but it really changed my life. I mean, I witnessed also what might be the Akashic records. I don't know what the heck it was, but above me, there was this gray stream of knowledge, almost like a blood vessel or something. And I could mentally pluck anything out of it. And I plucked a white flower. The white flower came in front of me and just distilled down to its basic elements. And I had the re-knowing of, oh yeah, that's why a flower's designed that way. I went, what? And I couldn't believe what I was remembering, because it was conflicting with what my earth body thought. So that was a little confusing. And then when I went halfway through the ceiling, or a quarter of the way through the ceiling, I could see all of because I was going up at a steady rate the whole time. And that frightened me, and I zoomed back into my chest. I left my stomach, but I zoomed back into my chest with a thud. And then my whole body was pins and needles, like I've never felt. I had to rub my arms and legs to get the blood going. So I think if I would have went to Jupiter, I would have died. My body would have died. But I'm happy to be back in my body. I'm not going to do that again. So, but it was enough for me to know that, hey, it's pretty miraculous what is beyond, what's the next chapter for us after this life.
Right. We just keep going. Um, so I think that's kind of similar to the Energizer battery. You know
Yeah.
that, it keeps going and going because it's
Mhm.
energy. So what's inside of the capsule, the battery, is energy, I guess. So I guess we're a conscious energy. What do you think we actually are? That substance.
Um, Actually, we are a non-universe. Our souls or our isbes are non-universe entities that cannot be measured by anything in this universe. We're non-universe entities, and um, like I was, I was a ball of nothing but everything. I think it was it um, one of the religious leaders in the East, I think it was Buddha, was going to leave his body. And some of the villagers said, oh, please, could you just uh, give us some of your knowledge before you leave us? And he talked about how um, a home is very important. A home, when you build a home, it's very important. But the most important part of that home isn't the outer part of it or the shelter, it's the inside where there's nothing. Same with a vase. You make a vase and you take great skill in making that vase, but the vase is not the important thing. It's the empty space inside that's important. So I think he was trying to explain that even when we're out of our bodies, we're like this ball of nothing, but it is everything. That's what I got out of it.
Mm.
So, so yeah, it's wow. And I was a scientific evolutionist at the time this happened back in the early 80s in Rhode Island, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Um, and after that, I was like, well, there's definitely something here. This is not, it's not you die and you're gone. No, this is definitely because listen, I've got a really good imagination. I've got a very powerful imagination. And this would happened a long, long, long time ago. And I've tried over the years to try to imagine that, well, maybe it was just in my mind. So I try to imagine being a ball, being able to see. I can't do it. I can't put it together. So I really did experience it. Oh, Abraham Hicks talks about it. Okay. Cheryl says also, I think we're pure positive energy when outside of our bodies. I think you're right. It looks like Ralph's got a cat that needs some praying for. Go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't gonna really say. I was just trying to figure out. We're all positive energy. When we're out of our bodies. I was just trying to figure that out. Do you think that we're all of us when we're outside of our bodies, we're all positive energy?
I don't know. I only experienced it once myself for only a couple minutes. So I can't extrapolate that to everybody. But it was far different from any other account I've ever heard. Um, Andrew remembers being a ball of nothing. And one other person I think I've found a story, but everyone else has like what they call an astral body with an umbilical cord. I didn't see a cord. There was no cord, and there was no body. I was just a round ball, a round ball. I didn't have any arms or legs or anything. Um, and that bothered me that I couldn't find any other accounts at first of that same experience. It really kind of made me feel alone. So I don't know, maybe different souls are different shapes, or maybe it was the way that I left my body. Maybe I really died, because the protocol for astral projecting, which was what I was trying to do, the guy in the radio was telling you how to do it. You just put your hands over your chest like this. You lay down, get really relaxed. You cross your hands over your chest, and then you just imagine your toes getting super relaxed and your feet getting, and your legs and your whole body becoming super relaxed. And then when you're super, super relaxed, you can't even feel yourself breathe. You simply sit up without sitting up. That's when I came out of my belly. But I think that's also when I stopped breathing. So when I came back into my body, my whole body was pins and needles. So something went wrong with the way I did it, but what I experienced changed my life. I'll never try it again, but it was a very powerful teaching moment for me.
So I would say in that case, then nothing went wrong, I guess, right?
There you go. Yeah.
And then me myself, I heard this recently that when you cross over, I think permanently, or maybe they were retracing their near-death experience. I forget what I was watching, but the person said that eventually you turn into a ball of light.
Okay. I can
And
believe.
then
Yeah.
oh,
Go ahead.
mhm. And then are you familiar with orbs? With that phrase or term? Have you heard of orbs? That's what I'm actually asking.
Yes.
So to me, they kind of look like a ball of light. What do you think orbs are?
That's a very good question. I don't know. I don't know what they are. I do know that that Dorothy Izat encountered these little faces, these little beings that were like faces, and they were from the upper atmosphere. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think, well, maybe it's just water droplets in the air, or it could be an entity. We just don't know. I mean, it's a mystery, right? What do you think?
Well, that's interesting you said that because there's a streamer that I know of, and we know each other now. I used to wake up every day and watch his streams, and now we know each other. He did a stream not too long ago where he was talking about orbs. He's an out of body experiencer, and that's mostly what he talks about. So he said he had this encounter where he was he was approached by two orbs, and in the orbs he's seen faces.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you just mentioned that, and I never spoke to you about it. So I'm assuming now there's probably faces and orbs are probably as you were saying that you were a ball of light. You were nothing and a lot and everything at the same time. Maybe you was an orb.
Maybe. But I had the sense that I was nothing, but everything, if that makes any sense. Because I could go through the wall. I went through the ceiling, partway through the ceiling. Um, yeah, it was really weird. And when I could see in all directions, that was freaky because I was moving up very slowly at the sit-up speed, and I could see in all directions simultaneously, and crystal clear vision like you never saw before. Super crystal clear. No floaties or anything in your eyes, or our eyes are a little inefficient for seeing. They're pretty good, but this was like seeing like you couldn't even believe it. It was super, super clear, crystal clear, and just the feeling that you were nothing but everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can go into that a lot more too, that'd be great because I like what you said so far. Because as you were talking, I was thinking about one of my experiences of seeing an orb move past me, and when you were saying that you were moving towards the ceiling, I instantly thought about that that experience because I watched the orb go up towards the ceiling slowly. You know,
Yeah. Cool.
yeah. So, um,
I was
wow, that's
I
yeah.
was about 8 to 12 inches in diameter. I was about that big, but I don't think I would be able to be visibly seen because I truly was, I guess, knowing that I was just nothing, just a ball of nothing. Um, I guess if you're a ball of nothing, you could go anywhere and be undetected, right?
Mm, a ball of nothing, but you're everything at the same time. Wow. So
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. It's like the outer layer maybe is every like okay, so let's say you're all knowledge, you're all everything. You like you know everything and you are that. And then you're also nothing. So that does make sense. You can move through walls,
Hmm.
you know. Knowledge is data. Knowledge can't be obtained physically, just in its essence, knowledge, if that makes sense, or
Well, I did with the Akashic. If it was the Akashic records, as that flower came in front of me and distilled down. So there's this gray stream of knowledge that if you forget something or something, you can just replenish your knowledge just from the stream of knowledge that's always there. At least when I was out of my body, it was always there.
hmm,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I didn't see any light tunnels. I didn't see anything. But really, I was only out a couple minutes, so I'm no expert on it by any means. And I have no desire to do it again because I really thought that I came close to dying there. And as much as the other kind of spirit life form was interesting, I I think there's plenty of time for that later because here on Earth we can feel things, we can have feelings, and that's why I don't really mind pain that much because it's a feeling, something you can't have when you're out of your body.
Hmm, yeah, I got you. It's a feeling. Yeah. Um, and I get that. Cheryl asked a question to me earlier, prop, how did you leave your body? And so let's see, how did I leave my body? So I've been leaving out of my body, not to skip from what you were saying, but I'm gonna circle back around.
Okay.
Um, So how did I leave my body? Well, I've been leaving my body since I was a teenager, but I didn't know that that's what I was doing. So there hasn't been any exact practice around that time. I didn't hear anything about, I didn't know anything about that, but I was doing it, and I became aware one day when I was in my body. So I was doing it in my sleep, I guess, right? So I became aware while my body is laying in the bed one morning when I was about to wake up. So I'm gonna ask y'all, have you experienced sleep paralysis? Because that's what this was. I became aware. Have you heard about sleep paralysis?
I've heard about having to experience it myself.
Okay, so it was really terrifying, when it was happening 'cause I didn't know what was going on. So just real quick, that's when you become aware in your body and you can't move your body, you can't talk, you can't do anything, and you're just there. You're aware, and your body actually does that to keep you from moving around while you're sleeping. That's what I heard, you know. So I became aware of my body, and my body was laying in the bed crooked. I mean, not crooked, excuse me. My body was laying down on its side, but I became aware while I was in it, and it was very uncomfortable because it felt like um, I was crooked inside of my body, if that makes sense. I
Hmm.
wasn't aligned with my body.
Okay.
It was uncomfortable. I actually felt a bone poking me. And when I say poking me, I'm talking about the spiritual version of myself. I felt it poking me in the side, one of my bones inside of my body. I was in my body crooked. If this ever happens to anybody, just real quick, what I learned from having all of these experiences and being terrified of what's going on, and I can't move my body, I can't scream or nothing. just calm yourself, relax, and then eventually you will merge back with your body, and then you'll be able to move your body again. So when you were talking about feeling, that's an aspect of being human that you can experience over there.
Right.
One of my experiences being out of my body, and I'll get to it. Cheryl was asking, but one of the experiences connected to that, I came back into my body, and I felt the spiritual version of myself snap into my nerve endings. I don't know, like, I just knew that while that was happening, I just knew that's what was happening. You know what I mean? I'm not a biologist or anything. I just knew that's what was happening. I was
Okay.
snapping, yeah, I was snapping into my nerves. And then that's when I realized that that's how we're able to feel as a human being, because the spiritual version of ourself is connected to the nerves as a part of our body. That's how we're able to feel. But just real quick to answer Cheryl's question. Uh, so I've been going in and out since a teenager, not realizing it. And then I've had some conscious experiences while being out. How did I leave my body? Well, I never did any exercises to get there, but I have heard of Robert Monroe as I was researching out of body after I started to realize that that's what was going on with me. And people say meditate, relax, listen to binaural tones. Another person, Michael, I forgot his name, Michael something. He made a he's an author of a book called Journeys Out of the Body. I don't think his name is Michael. I always say Michael. I forget his name. But he says that if you want to have more out of body experiences or have any, then research it. Like, go online, listen to some videos, research it, and then that will bring you closer to that vibration.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Robert Monroe is one that wrote that. Journeys Out of the Body. Robert Monroe. Journeys Out of the Body.
Right.
Okay. That's Robert Monroe. I just looked it up for you.
Oh, okay. So I had the wrong book. I think I forgot that he wrote a book too, but it's another guy that speaks about out of body.
Okay.
And he just says, yeah, he says research it. And I think he's an author too, but he says research it, and hopefully you'll have your experience. I actually did that. I was researching him, what he's saying, then I researched Robert Monroe, and then next thing you know, okay, because that guy said that if you have an out of body experience, one way to get out of your body is to do a technique called the rolling technique. So when you feel that you're right there, then just kind of try to roll yourself, if that makes sense. You won't be moving your body, you'll be moving your spiritual body. And I actually tried that. Like, I felt that I was right there. Like, I'm asleep, and then I become conscious, and then I felt like, oh wow, I think I'm right here. Let me try the technique. And I actually fell on the floor in my
Wow.
spiritual. So
Wow.
I was laying on the couch at that moment, and so after I fell on the floor, I noticed this wall on my left, or some kind of thing like a wall. Come to realize that was the bottom of the couch that I was looking at.
Okay.
That makes, I fell in the front of the couch. So, you have that part in the front that's like you know, but yeah, fell on the floor. So do the rolling technique. And hopefully that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're coming up on a 2-hour mark, so I think we're gonna put a cap on this one. I want to thank you, Propagate This Light, for calling in. You really made the show. I'm really happy that you did. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you for always letting me in, and it's been a pleasure being here. And your chat, the people in the chat, is very nice. I appreciate them, and thank you for reaching out to me. Peace.
We got the best mods, and let the people know where they can find you. Yeah, I know you have a YouTube channel, but where else can they find you?
Let's see. Well, as of now, okay, so you can find me on YouTube. I'll put hi in the chat so you know, and it goes by the same name,
Okay.
and that's my channel there. I do have a website, and that's linked to all of my videos, my uploads, so you'll find that at the bottom. But I'll just tell you what it is: propagatelight.blogspot.com. I'm a podcaster. You'll find my podcast, my music podcast there. I do video production. You'll find that there.
Oh,
I
really?
do video editing. I do that there. If you're a Prince fan,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we spoke about Prince, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, what's up, Peggy Dancer? Reaching out to me. Okay, Mad Rabbit posted the link to my channel. I appreciate you. And
Thank
Cheryl,
you.
what's up?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're a Prince fan, I have a Prince music podcast. It's really popular. It's one of my flagship podcasts. You could check that out there. It's called The Sound of the Symbol. I also do photo editing regarding Prince. So you'll see that link to that blog on that post for the podcast. So yeah, check me out.
I got I downloaded this when it first came out. I think when Prince passed away, someone released this. It's unreleased Prince. And I got it right here. I'm just going to play a little bit of it. I don't know if I'll get copyright.
Prince, Alive in the Vault,
Oops.
full album, rare and unreleased.
I guess that's me.
Uploaded by Dane Fox, 2 X's,
Dane Fox.
on YouTube. It's 40 minutes and 12 seconds of unreleased Prince.
See if you heard this. Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting Peppy Willie, the guy that kind of taught Prince how to put songs together.
Say you want simplicity, you don't like love complex. I got a spooky feeling, you just want me for the sex. The thrills of it, the chills of it, the spills of it. You just want me for the sex of it.
There's a lot of songs out there. So much good stuff. That guy was so incredibly talented. Unbelievable.
Man, that's yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I was telling you, like, Dr. Fink actually sent me a song, a Prince remix that he created to be on one of my podcasts. So I was happy about that.
Oh man, I used to be well. I guess I'm still friends with Peppy Willie, but I remember also when Prince first came out. I was living near Minneapolis. He used to go down there all the time, and I got a hold of this cassette tape, and it was a tape of Prince teaching his band how to play Purple Rain. And because, you know, he had to teach the band how to do all these songs he wrote. And it was made by Brown Mark. He was the bass player, I think. And Prince had a strict rule, no taping. You can't tape anything. When he found out that was taped and multiple copies were made of it all over the U of M campus there. And he went on a rampage to get them all back. I still got it somewhere. I don't know where it is, but maybe I'll come across it one of these days.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the gem right there. Like, you that's probably gonna cost I mean, that's probably worth a lot of money right there to have that.
Yeah. I was at Peppy's, and I mentioned this in the last show. I showed your blog with all those images that you made.
Oh, you did? I missed it.
Yeah, I showed that all, and I thought you might have been watching, but has a couple of Prince's first album that you did some geometric work on, and those buildings that look like spaceships because they're disembodied from where the. That's very cool. I like that. Yeah.
Oh, right. That was the work that I was telling you on the last stream I was on, that the work that you do with the images is kind of similar to what I've been doing, you know?
Yeah, it is. Yes, I would have to say so too. Yeah, I love what you're doing there. I think it's really, really cool.
I appreciate that. If anybody wants to check that out, that's called Reflecting Genesis. So REFLECTIN Genesis.TUMBLR.com.
Tumblr. Yeah, on Tumblr.
Yeah.
Go check it out. He's put a lot of work into this. I mean, you got an amazing amount of images on there. I didn't even get through all of them. It's like, wow, freaky, wild.
Thank you. I'm gonna type it in the chat. I know it won't be clickable because
Sure.
let's see, if you don't mind. I'll just
Go
put
ahead.
so people can see it.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yep.
And they can check the last show we had too. Or was it the show before last? Might have been the show before last.
Yeah, it could have been. The Jan interview was the show before last, right?
Oh, maybe it was the one after the or maybe the one before. I get so confused. I can't remember. I do too many shows. I can't remember them all.
But you do good content. I like how you interview. Like you said earlier, you interviewed the other person you mentioned. I forgot his name. But that's incredible. You interviewed him before he passed away, you know?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's when I was at Blog Talk Radio, and that's behind a paywall, so I have to pay a monthly fee to get at those old interviews. I had Leslie Kean, I had Paola Harris. She's an American-Italian ufologist. She's written a number of books. She's really good. I also had Jim Sparks on. Jim Sparks, he told a very interesting story about how he was taken to this spaceship out in deep space somewhere, and he said it looked like a high rise, like a big building with all these little cubicles. And they brought him in there, and there were all these humans in there, but they had bigger heads, a little bigger heads, less hair, like thinner hair. They were more ecological. And he said that if we blow ourselves up, that's what they're going to repopulate the earth with, is these people. So
Whoa.
he said they brought him into this room with this woman. She's crying in her apartment. She's crying. And so they put him in there and told him, see if you can help her. He's like, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know what to do. He's like, doesn't know what to do. But yeah, he says that they bring these people to Earth sometimes to acclimate them to the planet. It's a very interesting story. Who knows if it's true, but it's a very interesting story. But yeah, someday I'll unlock those and put those up on YouTube, and because there's some pretty good ones in there. And I also did interviews with the Romanicks, Stan and Lisa Romanek. Very important name in ufology.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we're 2 hours and 8 minutes in, so I think we're gonna put a cap on it. And I gotta thank you again, Propagate This Light, for coming on the show and helping us to make it a good one.
Appreciate it, and you're helping me as well. Thank you so much. And it's okay for me to post this on my channel, right? This clip.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I noticed you did that before too. Yeah, go ahead.
Right, and I'll always put your website in the description, so it's all about propagating light.
Awesome. I like the way you're doing that. That's awesome. Thank you, sir. Take care.
All right, bye everyone, and thank you for showing my other blog. Thank you so much. Peace out, y'all. Rock steady.
You're welcome. Take care. All right, folks, we did it again. Another episode in the can. 241. 241. Do you believe it? And yeah, that's nice talking to Propagate This Light. Good guy. Good guy. Oh, thanks, Dark Brain. He says, good show. Cool show. Thank you very much. Yeah, I might just be listening to that unreleased Prince album. I just found that it's on this old computer, and I'd forgotten that I had that on here. So 40 minutes of Prince that you won't find anywhere else. So thank you again, folks. Remember to keep in mind, we're not going to have the show this Sunday with Andrew. That's been canceled. We're going to do it on another date when he's more prepared. He's going to do some more research on WW2, World War II. So, and there he is again. Propagate this light. There he is. He's a good guy. So go over and give him a follow. Tell all your friends to follow him, and let's get him up there. And I thank you, everyone, for subscribing to this show, too. We're up to 3,010, I think we're up to now, and I'm loving it. You guys are all like my best friends. And, yeah, keep your cameras and your phones pointed to the skies so you can take a picture of that UFO and come on to the Truth Quest and talk about it. Until then, peace in, and we'll see you Friday night. Peace in.